The most out-of-touch thing I've seen an influencer do lately is completely move apartments because they saw one mouse.
The whole street is lined with Ferraris all day and all night.
The number one need is money.
Is money.
In hand.
So in this video, we are talking about rich people and how out of touch so many of them are, whether it be talking online on social media or just to normal everyday people. I guess it's just because so many of these people have been so wealthy for such a long period of time that that's just the way of life they know, and they can't even relate to like a vast majority of just the population in the entire world now. I got a good amount of clips. I don't even know if I'm going to show all of them just because I don't want this video to be super long, but some of them are just funny in the way of how ridiculous it is. So leave your comments down below and I'll pick some of them out for the next video, but we're just gonna get into the first one about Whoopi Goldberg.
I'm sorry, if you only want to work 4 hours, it's gonna be harder for you to get a house. We busted our behinds. We had to bust our...
Hi Whoopi, I'm Freddie. I run numbers on the internet and I gotta show you something. The minimum wage in 1980 was $3.10. It is now $7.25. The average salary was $12,500. It's now $59,000. And the median household income was $22,000 and now it's only $77,000 for a 3.5 times increase. However, rent was $243 on average. Now it is $1,900 for a 7.8 times increase. The median house price was $47,000. It is now $419,000 for an 8.9 times increase. And the big one, college, was $2,300. It is now $30,000, 13 times more expensive. Our median household income, to feel like they did back then, for rent should be $171,000 for the family. And for college, it'd be equivalent to our family making $286,000. And to remind everyone, the median household income is $77,000. So Whoopi, with all due respect, I think millennials and Gen Zs have it at least 8 to 10 times harder than you all did.
I don't know why people give celebrities the time of day at all, especially like actor level celebrities. Like, what does some actor or comedian know about economics at all? Especially some of the people we're talking about, they have gotten wealthy at such a young age that almost their entire life has been so far out of even somewhat of a resemblance of a normal person, and now they get to have a whole talk show and talk down on an entire generation of people. You could see from the comments here, yeah, Whoopi is working so hard sitting on her chair and talking on TV. It's so hard to listen to rich people tell me I need to work harder. And Whoopi has been a millionaire since the 80s. Isn't this also the same person that said that the Holocaust wasn't about like religion? It was just about men wanting to kill other men. It wasn't about the Jews at all. It was just because men wanted to be mean to other guys. Like, how do you even get into this thought process? And I don't even know how you would think those thoughts. They are so disconnected from reality, and she didn't even get in trouble for it. She ended up getting a 2-week suspension on her show, so I guess either the show was just canceled or they somehow did it without her. And then that was it, just back to normal. She could say whatever. Could you imagine if I said that on this channel? Now, it's not like I got some big social media presence or a giant YouTube channel or whatever, but I would be done. If I had any sort of normal 9-to-5 job, you know I'd be fired and there's no way I'd be able to get another one. But she could just get away with it because she's rich. It's not just the older rich people we're gonna harp on today. We have one of these like snowflake influencer videos that we gotta talk about here.
The most out-of-touch thing I've seen an influencer do lately is completely move apartments because they saw one mouse. Not just moving apartments, moving into like a $6,000 luxury apartment building and breaking their lease 6 months early. Like, I get it, no one likes having a mouse in their home, but like, get a mousetrap, call the exterminator. But then this influencer is like, you know, I didn't know if it was the right thing or not to move, but just like for my mental health, I felt like I needed to. Like, imagine being depressed from seeing one mouse, so you just like pack up all your stuff and move to a luxury apartment building. And as far as I could tell, it was one mouse. Like, there are people with roaches, rats, like a new mouse every single day in pre-war buildings. I'm honestly just hating because I'm jealous, but like, that is the most unrelatable thing I've seen in a while.
And that's the reason why I do not call myself an influencer at all. If anything, it's just a YouTuber, because that's basically the only platform I really use. Or at least a content creator, because a lot of these influencer Instagram type of people, we could add in TikTok in that bubble. They are just in a different world. Now, clearly you don't want to see like mice and rats in your house or apartment or anything, but now my parents' house was pretty nice. It wasn't like a super mansion or anything, but it wasn't just a small little shack. And when I did live with them, I saw my fair share of dead mice in mousetraps because the house was made, I don't know, 60, 70 years ago. It was an older house, so there's ways for little mice to get in, and I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, but it didn't freak me out in the way of wanting to move out of the house completely. I don't want to say the same thing about every one of these clips, but I don't even understand the thought process. It's just so far out of my reality.
You know what I think is a better advantage than being born into something? Being born into nothing. I'm on the record. Remember I said it. Can't wait to watch it in 20 years. The internet the way it is today, I'd rather have 0 than 100 million. People that have 0, like this guy's an idiot. That's because you don't talk to trust fund babies. I do. I talk to trust fund babies. They DM me. I meet them in real life because of my business career. They're sad. Do you know what it's like to talk to a human being that looks at you at 22 years old and says, no matter what I do for the next 80 years, it will never be my own accomplishment. Everybody will always say I was handed it and I'm done. Do you know what kind of level of depression, cocaine, and partying until you die that leads to? A lot.
I just realized that there was music behind that, and it's so hit or miss if this will actually get copyrighted. But if it did, then this will get completely cut out. But I do want to say, at least at the beginning, I understand what he's trying to say. Because say if I was in that position and my parents were billionaires and I started my reselling business like I did several years ago, and the YouTube channel and all of that, for any amount of success that I did have, I bet there would still be some people thinking that I got like startup money from my parents to buy a whole bunch of shoes, when at least in my personal experience, it was all my money. Same thing with buying all the computers, the cameras, and everything that I used to make these videos. People would probably think that I just got handed them. So in a way, I do understand. But at the same time, I would say almost everybody who's middle or lower class would easily trade positions with a trust fund baby. I don't think it would matter too much to too many people that are struggling out there, especially today with inflation. They wouldn't care too much about other people thinking that they've got handed everything, when most of the time trust fund people honestly just do. But we got some of the comments here. Not the rich guy telling you you're lucky to be poor. I think everybody's seen a bit of GaryVee a few times in their life, and I remember listening a long time ago, and a lot of his social media stuff made a lot of sense, but there are some things that just go a little bit too far out there, and I think this is one of them. You know what's also depressing? Barely being able to afford your bills and knowing one accident can leave you in debt for the rest of your life. So again, just two different worlds here. There's not really much else to say. This one I thought was funny, from a normal person on TikTok, just sharing his story with somebody who is super wealthy.
I love how out of touch rich people are. The other day I saw my friend's dad, who's really quite rich. Pretty much I was telling him how I love the street that they live on. And he goes, really? We've hated our street lately. We've hated it. Mind you, he's not British. I'm just putting that on for like dramatic effect. I go, really, mate? What's wrong with it? Why are you hating it? He goes, well, the next door neighbor, he owns a Ferrari dealership and the whole street is lined with Ferraris all day and all night. And I said to him, can you imagine we all parked our nice cars out on the street? Can you imagine we all did that? There'd be nowhere to drive. And I said to him, so you hate your street because there's too many Ferraris parked on the street? And he goes, yeah, it's ridiculous. Is that not ridiculous? I said, yeah, mate, it's horrible. You guys need to move. You guys need to move. There's too many Ferraris on your street to stay there.
I don't know how much I could add to that video because I have not had any experience with anybody that was nearly that wealthy, but I mean, I don't know. I guess if you make it one day and you are on one of those roads that has a whole bunch of mansions or really nice old Victorian houses, you could have a neighbor park all of their supercars all down the road, and I mean, that would just be the worst. I don't know. We're gonna go back to some celebrities because these ones make me more angry than just like normal rich people who aren't famous. Because I don't know if you remember the whole fires in Hawaii and Maui and all of that crap that happened with it. Apparently The Rock and Oprah started a charity to help people, basically their whole life burned to the ground. And you end up getting these two people talking on a TikTok, telling the vast majority of just normal people throughout the entire world making middle to lower middle class income, telling them to donate to their charity, when both of them ended up donating $5 million each, which is clearly a lot of money. However, Oprah is worth $3 billion and The Rock is worth $800 million. So when you see the $10 million that they donated, not each, together, it really seems like it's actually not much money at all, but they still have the audacity to make a TikTok telling you that these people need money and you need to donate to their charity because they're going to give the funds directly to the people and it won't get all mixed up in a whole bunch of politics and other people getting paid and all of that kind of crap. Even though these people are so unbelievably rich that we can't even like fathom how much money that is. And this isn't the only one. This is just more of the recent ones because this also got a decent amount of backlash, but there's tons of these charities. They get a huge talking head that's super wealthy telling you to donate when it's honestly just the rich telling the poor to donate to help other poor people. It's unbelievable. And at least with this one, there was a lot of people that kind of finally woke up to this. A billionaire and a multi-millionaire asking us for money. Oprah could literally call every rich person she knows and each donate $10 million, which if she truly wanted to, that's exactly what they could do. Because all of these people, when you get to that level of wealth, they end up being friends because it'll just help them even more financial connections, better investments, just make more and more money. And if I remember correctly, wasn't there like a whole thing with like, I don't know if it was proven or it was a conspiracy theory or something, but didn't a whole bunch of rich people end up buying the land that was destroyed in Maui right after the fires burned down? I do remember a conspiracy that people actually started the fires to be able to buy the real estate because how expensive Hawaii in general, like the real estate, is absolutely through the roof. It was something that I remember seeing that they started the fires, which I'm not going to confirm or deny that. I don't know enough about it, but I'm pretty sure Oprah was one of the people that ended up buying a whole bunch of the land that was pretty much destroyed by the fire. So there's a natural disaster or whatever if you want to put on your tinfoil hats. Then we have a whole bunch of super rich people who are so wealthy that they can't actually spend enough money to outweigh the amount of money they're already making every single day, buy up a whole bunch of land on one of the most expensive places to buy land, and then tell a whole bunch of middle-class people to donate to rebuild Maui, which would just be rebuilding their land that they just bought. How does this not get called out more? I don't get it, man. Because you even have more celebrities. I remember seeing this back when it went on. There was like a whole bunch of celebrities that ended up doing like a cover song of Imagine. I don't know what song that is, but it was honestly just a whole bunch of these super wealthy celebrities doing like absolutely bottom of the barrel quality, singing to like their selfie camera on their iPhone to make us like normal common folk feel better about staying inside during COVID, when all of us, at least at the time, were all freaked out. This is when the stock market was plummeting. People thought the world was going to end. It was going to be tough to get food. We were all going to die from a disease. As these people get to go back and chill out in their absolute mega mansions until all of this blew over, when everybody who was normal had to sit in their apartment or their house with their family and hopefully be allowed to go out of the house to get groceries. It's just, they're so out of touch. It's unbelievable. Now I do have some more clips, but I think we're going to end on this one.
What has been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
In a single year, probably about 13 million.
When it comes to the way that people look at money, what would you say is the biggest thing that separates the middle class from those who really end up building that wealth?
Okay, hand me that bag. See this little bag right here? If I said, I will sell you this bag for $1,000, what would you say?
Probably not.
Okay, that is how a poor person thinks. A rich person would ask, what's inside? Because what if I had $100,000 in cash in this bag? You just lost $99,000 because you simply didn't ask what's inside. Rich people, they worry about what they get. Not what it costs. And when they understand what they get, they understand what they stand to lose. Wow. Poor people never ask what's inside. They never ask what it's worth. They just ask what it's cost. That's all they care about. And that's why life goes by and it costs them everything.
This is like textbook person who watches The Wolf of Wall Street once a week. Now, I don't know who this person is. I don't know if he's actually made $13 million. He could be a totally normal, nice guy, but this is exactly the kind of person who will be that wannabe sales stockbroker. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a billionaire type person. And then they end up just like scamming a whole bunch of people. And the way they actually get their money is they convince everybody that they're super wealthy and smart. And then they get normal, common people to buy their $1,000 course online that's just a how to day trade and make millions every single week, the kind of people. That's the exact vibe that I'm getting from that video. Again, he may be just a normal guy, but there's a lot of those type of rich people out there that the only reason they're wealthy is because they've manipulated and conned so many normal people out of their money that now they actually end up becoming rich. At least with these type of people, I could see it becoming even more popular in the next year or two with a lot of these scams, because there's a lot of people hurting out there right now, living paycheck to paycheck, trying to find any way to make a little extra money, and these people will just swoop in, take your $500, take your $1,000 and promise you'll be the next Amazon drop shipper or day trader or next big social media influencer if you just buy all my courses and pay for my Discord group, and then you're just out a whole bunch of money and you're basically at square one. So hopefully none of you will fall for those scams, but I know people definitely will. But let me know what you think about some of these videos down in the comments below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.